Yo, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be checking out what I think is probably one of the best decks in the current standard format, which is Pikachu and Zekrom. The deck has dominated for a very long time, going through a couple different variations, and recently players have settled on what they think is probably the optimal build based around a slower approach using Pikachu and Zekrom, Mewtwo and Mew, and Boltund V to charge up your attackers, and use Crushing Hammer and Team Grunt to slow down your opponent while maintaining a good pace. This is the list that, as of the day of filming, I just reached day 2 of the Limitless Major today, so that's very exciting. I think the deck is very good, and can beat pretty much anything if you draw well enough. The deck is pretty straightforward. You want to use Boltund V, try and go second. Just use Boltund V, get some energy on board, use full Blitz, get even more energy, and then you can choose between using Pikachu and Zekrom's Tag-GX attack, Raichu and Raichu's Tandem Shock, or even Lightning Ride. You can use Bolt Storm for a lot of damage if you have enough energy on board. Tapu Koko Prism Star helps out a lot as well. And then we have Dedenne-GX, Crobat V, and Eldegoss V to help us with consistency, drawing cards. 4 Marnie and 2 Chaotic Swell is very important against fire decks, because without these it would be very difficult for us to get one-hit KOs, and or for us to not get one-hit KO'd. Also, 2 Reset Stamp is very good. We want to play... There's a very specific pace we want to play at, which is to force them to KO Boltund V at some point, and a Pikachu and Zekrom or a Mewtwo Mew, Reset Stamp them, and then use some combination of either Raichu or Mewtwo, Reset Stamp, Chaotic Swell, and prevent them from really doing anything, because they won't have very many cards to work with, and that really is your endgame scenario, because you normally won't be dishing out huge one-hit KOs like something like Eternatus VMAX or ADP-zation will be able to do. Really, we normally will max out at like 200 due to Tag-GX, or generally like 160 with Tandem Shock, pretty reasonably. Sometimes Bolt Storm will be able to do more damage to, say, like one-hit KOization, but you almost certainly won't be able to get up to those like Tag Team GX or VMAX numbers with Boltund V. So like cards like Crushing Hammer, Reset Stamp, Chaotic Swell, and Marnie, and of course like Team Grunt, are very important to just keep the pace of the game as slow as possible, so you always come out on top. This has been probably the deck that I've earned the most points with, or that I've just done the best with. I've won a tournament with it, and I've had some other decent results with it. It's a very good deck. It's just the deck I play the most, and I've just got a lot of practice with it. So let's just go ahead and get into some games. Before we do, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into some games, see what we can do. So looks like we've got our first opponent here. Call the coin flip. We lose the coin flip. Normally we want to go second, but we definitely can function going first. So it looks like we are going to be able to go second. We are going to start our Raichu and Alolan Raichu, mainly because it has a retreat cost of 2, so we can attach Air Balloon to it, which is always very good. We also have Eldegoss V in our hand, which we definitely don't want to start. We'll probably just Marnie that into the deck. So it looks like we are going to be up against a Victini VMAX deck. So right off the bat, we know we're going to lose this hand somehow. Let's go ahead and play Crushing Hammer to see if we can get a heads. We can't. So we get to remove their energy, which is very nice. I kind of like, I don't want to get rid of too many energy, but I think we don't really have anything on board to work with so far, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the Dedenne-GX, because our opponent's hand does only have 5 cards in it. So it looks like this is not a fantastic hand, but we have Electromagnetic Radar, we have Tapu Koko Prism, so we can still get the full Blitz next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and do is we're just going to attach this here, play the Chaotic Swell, and we're going to pass it over to our opponent. I don't want to bench the Koko Prism in case it gets like boss's orders, but I think we're in a pretty solid spot. Victini VMAX just does not do very much damage, to our Pikachu and Zekrom-GX. So our opponent discards the Fan of Waves, which I guess is admittedly pretty good in the matchup because we run 4 copies of Speed Lightning Energy. A Boss Zord is hitting the discard as well. And looks like they're just going to go for a Dedenne-GX. Going to bench the Heatran, which is very good in this matchup. Very important for sure. To take a big knockout at some point. Probably could have done a better job of checking my prizes to make sure I do still have that other Dedenne-GX in deck. So our opponent just goes ahead and Spreading Flames for... They're only going to get 1 energy on board, which is pretty good for us. We top deck a Speed Lightning Energy, so I'm going to go ahead and play that down just to see what else we draw. I'm going to go ahead and play the Electromagnetic Radar. We probably won't need Boltund V at this point, and I'd like to keep the Boss Orders in my hand. So we're just going to go for that, get the Dedenne-GX. Actually, well, I mean, we're going for Dedenne, so we're going to bench that and play the Dedenne-GX. We're just looking for any switch effect, and we get it. Nice. So we have 2 energy in our discard pile, so I'm going to go ahead and Quick Ball. I think we can go ahead and discard the Tag Switch, because this is not a matchup where we need it a whole lot. We'll grab a... let's go ahead and grab a Mewtwo and Mew. Simply because Raichu is not as great of an attacker on its own, because it does not have the option to just use Tag Ball GX or Full Blitz. We're going to switch into our Pikarom. And we're just going to go and Full Blitz into this Victini VMAX. I'm going to put 3 energy on this Mewtwo and Mew. Because we can always set up for a late game Tag Bolt if our opponent does not apply enough pressure. They really need to utilize the Heatran-GX as soon as possible. Hopefully, or at least they're probably hoping that they can find a Welder for 2 energy this turn, but they can't find anything. It's just going to be a max victory. We top deck a Crushing Hammer, which is really good. Let's go ahead and Quick Ball. Unfortunately, we have to discard another Boss's Orders, but we're going to put ourselves in a really nice spot. Play the Crushing Hammer. We do get another Heads, which is very good. There really is no threat, so we're going to Crobat V here, see if we can get a KO with Tandem Shock, and we find the switch so we can. And I think we kind of put a lock on this game because our opponent has no way to take out this Mewtwo. At least I believe, unless they run their own Mewtwo and Mew. Which I guess they could. Technically this could still be the Mew3 Victini deck that we covered on the channel a few days ago. Yeah, and they scoop it up. So that's going to be a dub for us. The Pikachu deck just showing how disruptive it can really be. It can also be pretty aggressive. It just does not deal out all that much damage. So you really are always taking 2 or even 3 hit KOs in some scenarios. So as we can see, like Crushing Hammer, very important. It really slows down your opponent. So let's just go ahead and hop into the next game here. So we lose the coin flip. That's okay. Hopefully we get to go second. Alright, we do. Alright, so this is not a great starting hand. We have Tapu Koko Prism Star as our starting Pokemon, which I guess could definitely be worse. We can't always put an Air Balloon on this. So it looks like we're going to be up against Lapras VMAX, which is a really good matchup, for sure. We will definitely draw a card. It is an energy, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think what we're going to want to do here is play the Cherish Ball to get a Pikachu and a Zekrom, put it on the bench, and then Professor's Research. Actually, we also find a Marnie, but I don't really want to play that. So it looks like we don't have any Dedenne-GX in our deck, so that could actually be very difficult to play around, pretty annoying. We have both our reset stamps. We have no boss prized. We have not that many energy prized. And we have our Eldegoss in deck and all 3 Boltund V. So let's just go ahead and go for this Pikarom. While we do have some important resources in our hand, I think especially in matchups where we can just take Okos on with weakness. Just being as aggressive as possible is rewarded, so long as we don't brick. Hopefully we can find a switch effect here. We cannot. No Dedenne-GX is very annoying. So we just have to pass it over to our opponent. We have no chance of full blitz next turn. But I think that's still okay. We'll be a turn behind, but so long as our opponent doesn't just absolutely pop off, we should be fine. They put a training court down, not bench it. So that's actually going to give us access to a few more energy, which I like. Our hand isn't that bad. We really just missed a switch effect there. Finding Air Balloon is always very important. Alright, so our opponent plays the Crobat V. I would prefer it if they did not KO our Tapu Koko this turn. That would be kind of annoying. Did change, gonna draw them 6 first cards. They really are digging for this KO, I guess. They already have a bunch of energy in their discard pile, which we love to see. In combination with like Chaotic Swell and a Marnie, it could leave them with not that many energy on board. Looks like it's gonna be a Marnie of their own though. Gonna draw even more cards, just seeing a whole bunch of cards this turn. Alright, so we got an energy, got a supporter. This is pretty nice. I'm not sure why they're going so all in on this Lapras this turn. It just does not seem that necessary. I guess if you're guaranteeing the KO on this Tapu Koko, you know you have no threat of like being knocked out at all. And I guess if they can just find a boss's orders, we could be in trouble as well. We only have one Pikachu and Zekrom in our deck for this game. So this is really their win condition to just outpace us. Missing this turn on Electrify was very detrimental. They do only have one card in their hand, though. I guess we kind of just have to hope that it isn't a very useful card. So we're going to go ahead and promote this Boltund V. Let's go ahead and Cherish Ball. I'm going to grab the Raichu and Alolan Raichu. Prizing both Dedenne-GX is definitely not ideal. We're going to go ahead and attach to Pikachu and Zekrom. We have this training court in play. We'll go ahead and use it this turn, but we still have one more in our discard pile. Our Tapu Koko is gone, so getting every energy we can back is important. And I think we're going to electrify one energy to each of these Pokemon. That would, yeah, I think that makes sense. And just hopefully our opponent does not have a boss's orders available to them. We will want to KO this Lapras as soon as we can. Alright, so they get another energy back. And they have the boss, so that's actually really annoying. They may just be able to completely outpace us this game. Yeah, I'm not honestly sure what our win condition is at this point. We don't have Tapu Koko Prism Star left. Yeah, so I think this is just, overall, it was pretty unfortunate. I'm not really sure what we can do. I don't even think all our Crushing Hammers would be enough. Maybe we could go like a Crushing Hammer Reset Stamp play. But even that just does not seem very probable. Alright, well we drew 3 Crushing Hammers. Let's see how many of these energies we can remove. Oh, that's too many tails, I think. Pretty sure we can't win at this point. We need a switch, and we need, okay. 6, that's still, I think that's still enough damage. And we just kind of have to pass it over here. And I think we just lose. Yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah, that's plenty. Alright, unfortunate game for sure. Kind of missed big there. Starting the Tapu Koko Prism Star, very detrimental for sure. Especially when we only have one copy. Missed switch effect off Professor's Research. So that was just a pretty unfortunate game overall. Missing turn 1 Electrify is definitely not ideal. So, pretty unfortunate for sure. Alright. So, it looks like we're going to be able to... We're going first. This game, this is actually not that terrible of a hand. I think we probably just go Quick Ball, get rid of this energy, double check that we have Tapu Koko in deck. And we should be good to go. Looks like we are going to be up against a Victini VMAX deck. Again. But they're running like Malamon, which could actually be very annoying. So we're going to get rid of this. We have our Tapu Koko in deck. So, yeah, let's just get Pikarom. Catch a speed lightning energy. Ooh, that's not great, but we really got a data change here. We got to see as many cards as possible to try and guarantee that turn to full blitz if possible, especially in this matchup. So this hand isn't terrible. Could definitely be a lot worse. I'm going to go ahead and play this now just in case I Marnie or something. I don't really want to attach the Air Balloon, so we're just going to hold it and we're going to pass. So, this is a fine turn. Ideally, we can Marnie into Tapu Koko, Prism Star, and an energy card. We also have 2 Crushing Hammer in our hand, so that's really nice. We should be able to remove at least 1 energy from their board. They play a Welder, so unless they go for a Reset Stamp, we're not getting disrupted this turn. They just put 2 energy down. Maybe, we got us... Okay, they actually have Fan of Waves. That's really bad. And it goes to the bottom of our deck. But they just have to go for a High Heat Blast for 50. So this is definitely not that bad. Alright, so this is a pretty solid hand. I don't even want to play Crushing Hammer here. Just going to go for the Marnie. Unfortunately, we have to play it. We don't really have a choice here. Alright, and this is really good. We got a Supporter. We got Electrify. And we even got Tapu Koko Prism Star, which I'm going to go ahead and pop this turn so we don't lose it. Just get some more energy on board, I guess. And we're going to charge up this Pikarom the rest of the way. We do only have 1 energy left in our deck, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, I'm thinking prized 3 energy. Alright, so our opponent actually finds a Green's Exploration. That's not a card we see too often paired with Victini VMAX. Alright, so let's see what they grab here. I assume it's probably going to be like a Quick Ball, and yeah, well, that makes sense. Yep, so they go for the Quick Ball. That probably finds a Victini V, or a Reshiram Charizard or something like that. Yeah, it's going to be a Reshizard. There's an attachment to it. And they just go for a High Heat Blast, so this is pretty good for sure. They only have 2 cards in hand. One of them is a Welder, I guess, but we find a Crushing Hammer. Let's see if we can get a head on this. We can't. That's annoying, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. There really is no threat of getting KO'd here. So I see no reason to not switch into this. Yeah, just deny our opponent as many prize cards as possible. Full blitz. We do only get 1 energy on board, but we actually set up for, I believe, yeah, if we just find an energy here, we don't, but we have a switch and we have a supporter card, and we still have speed lightning energy in deck. So we can, it's definitely reasonable that we get this KO here with Boltund V. And they only have 1 energy to work with. That's kind of unfortunate for sure. And they have to go for the Double Blaze for 200. We find Tag Switch. That's not exactly what we wanted. Gonna switch there. Quick Ball. Just to take another look for deck. Gonna go and thin out Pikachu and Zekrom. We need one of those 2 speed lightning energy. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and take one of these energy and put it on the Raichu. And we will Professor's Research. Hopefully we can find an energy. If not, it's fine. Yeah, okay, so it looks like we missed, but we have a Crushing Hammer. Tails. So we're just going to Tandem Shock this turn. Yeah, and I think our opponent's probably not going to be able to do too much here. They actually have a Switch. So that's pretty good for them, but they don't have a follow-up. We have a Boss's Orders. Due to this Eldegoss V. Okay, yeah, and they scoop it up. So yeah, that's where I'm going to go ahead and end the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay, and you can see how, just how powerful of a deck it is right now. Definitely top 3 in the format, if not the best deck. Rapid Strike Urshifu does give it a more difficult matchup, especially with Mimikyu and Galarian Zigzagoon being an option. However, I think the matchup isn't terrible. Definitely not that bad. So it can definitely be worked around. I think the deck is solid. This is probably at least 58 of these cards are completely optimal, would not change them. The cards I want in the deck would be a 4th Boltund V, another Grunt, and maybe another Professor's Research. Aside from that, I'm not really sure what else to add to the deck. I think it's very good right now. Definitely suggest giving it a try if you haven't already. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Really does help us out. And I'll see you next time.